Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we're taking the new 6+ Super Type SABO into Garb's Challenge Heavenly Demon 2. So that was the team, those sports. Let's dive on in. Now, just like we did with the 6-star level limit break of Super Type SABO, the strength variation, we're taking the new 6+ into the Garb's Challenge and sort of comparing the pair. And I gotta say, right off the bat, I don't mind this guy. He's alright. I don't mind this guy. With the Super Evolution of SABO, he did completely change types. He's now a Psi typing instead of a Strength typing. And he still has his sort of Strength flair to him. Obviously, like, he's not a Strength Super type anymore. He's a Psi Super type. But he did get a little bit of a buff. So his Captain ability with level limit break is basically the same as what the level limit break of SABO got. With the announcement of the 6+ of Super Type SABO, he did get his level limit break. And with the new 6+, he still does the 1.5 chain growth rate, but now he adds Psi to the character's attack. So he boosts 4.25 for Psi and Strength characters, as well as boosting their HP by 1.25. He then makes he makes the crew's Strength, Psi, Recovery, and Tandem slots have matching slot effects, and heals 1 times character's recovery for every perfect at the end of the turn. So very similar to what Super Type SABO already did with giving matching orbs. This guy added Strength and Psi, which is actually a huge buff. An extra 2 matching orbs for your Strength and your Psi characters. Obviously, it's like 1 because like if you're running a Strength Psi team, you've already got Strength orbs, and then you just add the Psi, and then the Psi characters get the Strength. You guys get what I'm going with this. So it's a nice buff to his Captain ability, which is very, very nice to see. His special obviously changes just a little bit because he is a Psi character now. He reduces all enemies' HP by 20%, which I don't think he did before. I don't think he did damage, which is very interesting. And then he boosts type effects of normal attacks with Psi and Strength characters by 2.25 for 1 turn. Makes it easier to land perfect strikes for 1 turn. And then boosts the crew's... And then if the crew lands 3 perfect strikes in that turn, boost the type effects of normal attacks for Psi and Strength characters by 2.5 on the next turn, as well as increasing the chain multiplied by 1.3 for 1 turn after 1 turn. So not only does he give the perfect buff, but he also gives the clock buff, so that way you get a color affinity boost on one stage. He makes it easy to hit perfects, and then if you hit 3 perfects, you get 2.5 times color affinity on the next stage. So you can get 2 turns of a very good color affinity buff, which is very, very nice to get, as well as it being not only for Strength characters, but it's actually for Psi characters as well. So that's pretty cool. So the whole addition of just adding a whole nother color immediately makes this guy so much better, because running a mono Strength team was, in my opinion, his biggest downfall. And the reason that was the biggest downfall is because it just restricted team building so damn much. Like it made things so freaking difficult. And even though you could add units that like weren't boosted under Strength SABO, like the fact that now you can add a whole bunch of dual units like Luffy and Sanji on this particular team just gets so much better, because it doesn't matter what variation you're in, you are going to get that buff. So getting Psi added to his kit is great. His special and his captain ability obviously got a little bit of a buff. The extra matching orbs in his captain is great, and then the extra numbers that you get, the extra 0.25 for the color affinities for the color affinities, as well as just the whole addition of the Psi color makes him very, very strong. He also got the addition of making it easy to hit perfects. That's something to note as well, which is great because he has that perfect buff, which you need to carry over that 1.3. The 1.3 didn't get any bigger. I kind of wish it was like a 1.5 just cause. But other than that, like, this guy, huge buffs. Huge buff for the unit. So taking on Heavenly Demon 2 here, I did sort of change the team a little bit. I did try and optimize it so we don't have Vivi Rebecca. Obviously, bringing a chain locker on a chain, like, boost captain team, not exactly the smartest move on my behalf. But at the same time, that was really to emphasize that, like, I can't stand that Super Type SABO. And I did want to try and make it more challenging than it needed to be. Something else that changed with this guy's kit is his Super Type. His Super Type is much easier to get now. Once upon a time, it was just like Koala, Bello Betty, or might not even be Bello Betty. It might have just been like Koala, Luffy, and Rebecca, which is really, really odd, like the 3 units. But now, his Super Type activation requirements are either Luffy, Ace, Koala, Rebecca. So I think they were the 4. Luffy, Ace, Koala, and Rebecca, if you had any of those characters. Now, it's added for Imperial Ivankov, Inuyasuma, Lindbergh, Bello Betty, Karasu, Morley, and Kuma. So a lot of characters have been added to that sort of list, which just makes team building for this guy a lot easier when you do want to try and get his Super Type condition. Now, obviously, most of the time you're getting it through Luffy and Ace, which were always there. Koala is another okay option. Rebecca is a bit odd, I guess, but you do obviously have VV Rebecca to actually activate that as well. But his super type now applies the Ignite buff. Now, you guys saw that just previously on the Pika stage, and it works really, really well because Ignite, when you can actually get it off, is a lot of free damage. The only downside to Ignite is it procs at the start of the next turn, which can be a bit of a hindrance because if they have like a death hit or they have like a big damage hit, you are going to take that and then the burn's going to kick in. However, it does work quite nicely for getting around stuff like resilience, and it also gets around like if characters have like 2 turns, have heaps of HP and heaps of attack, Ignite's always going to be very, very effective. So he applies that Ignite effect for 2 turns and deals 100 times his attack in non-type damage, which deals 100 times his attack, which is great. 100 times burn is much better than stuff like 20 times and whatnot. He then boosts the chain multiplier by 1.25 and adds 150 times his attack in non-type damage as tap timing bonuses and changes Psy characters to Super Psy. So the chain multiplier buff was the main reason you were always using this guy's super type. But because he's a chain boosting captain, he obviously gives a chain boosting effect with the second turn of his special. And then getting that chain multiplier buff is actually very, very good. As you can then just start doing some crazy chain shenanigans. And then obviously with like the new Shanks, getting to that 8 times is very, very easy if you are running this guy as your captain. However, I still don't think that this guy is like a very good captain option, especially because Psy has just a plethora of different units. However, as a sailor or a sub, this guy is going to be very, very nice as a color affinity booster. 2.5 is very, very high for 2 very good colors, and giving a chain boost as well is awesome. If you take a look at something like Chopper at the moment, Chopper is so good to get color affinity across 2 stages, the new Chopper that came out alongside Uda. However, this guy is arguably a little bit better because not only do you get the better color affinity on the second turn, you get the chain boost on the second turn, unlike Chopper where you get the resistance debuff on the first turn. So, very, very good sailor capabilities. He makes all type slots favorable to himself and then boosts strength and side characters base stats by 75, which is very, very nice. It's very, very good, actually. And he does have access to a lot of very good subs. So, like, Psy, obviously, is one of the better colors in the game. Psy and Int tend to just always be at the top for some reason. And then Strength is not normally far behind. Quick and Dex, obviously, do drop off. But having, like, 2 of the top 3 best colors in the game, if not the best color in the game, I do think Psy is the best colored, just color for regular play all round. So, the extra addition of this crazy color affinity for that particular team does help it out more. Like, it does help it out more. Didn't need the help, but like it makes SABO a lot better than what he actually is. He's also a free spirit character, which is just immediately awesome because free spirits are always, again, another bunch of units that are always sitting very high at the top, and just means that this guy is always going to be very, very good and find his way onto a lot of teams because he does a lot of stuff that not a lot of characters can use. Color affinity is not exactly something that you go searching for in terms of like your best characters on the tier list. However, that doesn't mean they're not useful. That doesn't mean they're not going to see play in terms of stuff like big damage teams. You could probably use him in stuff like Super Boss Kazunas and stuff like that, and get a lot of chain boundary shenanigans and a lot of chain boosting shenanigans with this particular character as well. However, running 2 of him like you guys see right now is probably something that you're never going to do unless you really need that Ignite effect. You're always going to be hybriding him up with something like the Super Snake Man. You're always going to be hybriding him up with something like Yamato, or even something like Roger, right? Like I said, this guy doesn't really provide too much else for his captain ability besides just that chain boundary stuff. However, stacking the 2 can be quite powerful, and this SABO is a much needed buff to what his original form was. But that's going to wrap up the video for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to go down there and belt the like button for me if you're new to the channel, or you haven't done so already. Hit that big red subscribe button, but most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Later!